If you look at the coronation footage, you'll see that everyone bows and curtsies to the king, and no one moves a limb, a muscle, when Camilla passes. And that was because they were angry with Camilla.
Normally at home, as you perhaps once used to, and actually someone to help talk you through that.
When Queen Camilla leaned in to speak with a member of the royal family, few could have predicted that the moment would draw so much attention later. It began as a typical spring weekend on the royal calendar, carefully scheduled, filled with formal duties, and set against the familiar backdrop of Windsor. According to public reports, the gathering was organized at Windsor Castle for a private luncheon in recognition of one of Queen Camilla's charitable patronages. These occasions often bring together multiple generations of the royal family, including relatives and close associates from both the King's and the Prince and Princess of Wales's circles. Observers noted that, while the event followed the usual royal routine, the atmosphere carried a subtle tension. Princess Catherine, known for her composed presence during official functions, was said to be watchful throughout the afternoon. Prince William, by contrast, appeared relaxed as he engaged with guests. As the luncheon continued, guests were seated in different rooms according to tradition. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary at first, but later reports suggested that a quiet exchange between Queen Camilla and another family member caught Catherine's attention. What was said remains unclear, but it reportedly sparked speculation among those present. While the details remain unconfirmed, the incident became a topic of conversation in royal circles, one that highlighted the careful balance of relationships within Britain's most scrutinized family. Roughly 45 minutes into the gathering, reports suggest that Princess Catherine appeared momentarily distracted during a conversation with a senior courtier. Observers later noted that she seemed to step away from the main group for a brief period before returning, maintaining her usual composure. According to accounts shared by attendees, there may have been a private exchange earlier in the day involving Queen Camilla that caught Catherine's attention. The details of that conversation remain unclear, though some sources have described it as a minor misunderstanding or difference in tone during a casual interaction. Those close to royal events have often remarked on the delicate balance within the family's dynamics, a balance shaped by protocol, tradition, and strong personalities. Both Catherine and Camilla are known for their professionalism and commitment to their roles, even when faced with differing perspectives behind the scenes. By the afternoon, any sign of unease appeared to have passed. The family later participated in a walk through the Windsor Gardens, where King Charles and Queen Camilla were seen speaking comfortably with guests. To outside observers, the day ended much like it began. Calm, organized, and emblematic of how the royal household manages even the smallest of tensions with quiet grace. Throughout the afternoon, Princess Catherine was described as composed yet observant, maintaining her usual attention to detail during the event. Sources later suggested she appeared particularly mindful of certain exchanges within the room, though nothing publicly indicated tension at the time. During the post-garden gathering, guests were seen enjoying refreshments and light conversation. Some accounts mention that Queen Camilla made a brief comment during this portion of the event that drew subtle notice from those nearby. While the tone of the exchange was unclear, it reportedly added to a series of small, polite interactions that some observers interpreted as slightly pointed, though others saw them as entirely routine within royal formality. By the end of the engagement, Princess Catherine remained calm and focused, as she typically does in official settings. Reports later implied that she planned to discuss aspects of the day privately with Prince William, reflecting their well-known approach of handling family matters discreetly and away from public view. After tea, the royal group transitioned into one of the traditional sitting rooms for quiet conversation, a custom dating back to the late Queen's era. The moment, while brief and seemingly ordinary, would later be referenced in various accounts that explored the subtle dynamics often present behind the formality of royal life. Later in the afternoon, guests gathered in one of the castle's formal sitting rooms, a familiar setting for informal conversation following royal events. Queen Camilla entered alongside one of her longtime aides, appearing in good spirits and sharing light conversation with others in the room. According to some reports, the atmosphere began with easy laughter before settling into quieter discussion. Several family members were present, including the Prince and Princess of Wales. Observers noted that as the group relaxed, a brief exchange occurred between Queen Camilla and another relative. While the interaction was polite and seemingly routine, a few who witnessed it described the tone as slightly firm, though not overtly critical. Those familiar with royal dynamics have suggested that moments like these, though minor, can reveal subtle nuances in communication and hierarchy within the family. Others maintain that such exchanges are part of the formal decorum expected in royal settings and are often misunderstood when viewed out of context. By evening, the family had dispersed to their private residences, where the day reportedly concluded without further incident. As with many royal occasions, what appeared outwardly calm and well-organized later became the subject of quiet reflection and public curiosity about how senior royals navigate their relationships behind closed doors. According to reports, following the Windsor gathering, Princess Catherine and Prince William were said to have discussed certain interactions that had taken place during the event. Sources close to the household described the conversation as calm and thoughtful, with Catherine reportedly sharing her observations from the afternoon. William, as noted in several accounts, listened carefully and agreed that any concerns should be handled with discretion and respect for all involved. The following day, schedules were quietly adjusted. One planned engagement, a charitable garden project organized under Queen Camilla's patronage, proceeded without the full attendance originally expected. Palace aides later emphasized that routine changes to family schedules are common, and the adjustment drew little official attention at the time. Nonetheless, some reports suggested that Queen Camilla was made aware of the absence and reacted with her usual composure. Any speculation surrounding her private remarks has not been substantiated, and the palace has not commented publicly on the matter. By the weekend, the focus had shifted to a private dinner at Highgrove, hosted by King Charles. The gathering, which included Prince William and Princess Catherine, was said to be relaxed in nature, a chance for close family members to spend time together away from public duties. As always, the balance between private family life and public responsibility remained a defining feature of their interactions. The private dinner at Highgrove was reportedly intended as a calm family evening, a chance to reconnect and discuss upcoming royal engagements. According to several accounts, the evening began smoothly, with a relaxed atmosphere around the fire as King Charles, Queen Camilla, and the Prince and Princess of Wales gathered. However, observers later suggested that the tone shifted during a brief exchange between Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine. While the details of what was said have been reported in varying ways, it appeared that a comment made by Camilla was received with some discomfort. Witnesses described Catherine's response as poised but noticeably firm, marking a rare moment of visible tension between the two senior royals. Those familiar with palace life note that such moments, though private, highlight the fine line between personal interaction and public expectation within the monarchy. Royal engagements often require composure even in the face of misunderstanding, and both women are known for maintaining professionalism despite differing styles of communication. Afterward, the conversation reportedly returned to lighter topics, and the gathering continued without further incident. Still, the exchange, small though it seemed, became a point of quiet discussion among insiders, offering another glimpse into the subtle complexities that shape relationships within the royal household. According to reports, the conversation at Highgrove took a more serious turn as Princess Catherine addressed concerns that had reportedly been building over several weeks. Sources familiar with the event described the exchange as calm but direct, with Catherine choosing to speak openly rather than allow tensions to linger. Those present have offered differing accounts of the tone in the room. Some described the moment as measured and respectful, while others recalled an undercurrent of unease as Catherine made her position clear. King Charles was said to have attempted to ease the discussion, though the Princess of Wales continued speaking with quiet determination, emphasizing a desire for mutual respect within the family. Queen Camilla's response, according to public reporting, was diplomatic but firm, suggesting that any perceived slights may have been unintentional. Catherine reportedly maintained her composure, reiterating her perspective before stepping away from the conversation. Prince William, who had remained mostly silent, was said to have supported his wife's comments with equal restraint. Observers later noted that while the evening concluded politely, the exchange reflected the complex interpersonal dynamics within the royal household, a family navigating personal relationships under constant public observation. The matter, by most accounts, was handled privately in the days that followed. Following the reported exchange at Highgrove, sources suggested that the atmosphere within the royal household shifted subtly in the days that followed. Princess Catherine and Prince William were said to have spoken privately later that evening, reflecting on the discussion and how best to maintain harmony moving forward. Those close to the family described the conversation as calm but resolute, with Catherine emphasizing the importance of mutual respect within royal circles. Accounts indicate that King Charles made efforts to smooth relations by redirecting the evening's tone, while Queen Camilla remained largely quiet. There were no public signs of conflict, but insiders noted that future gatherings appeared to carry a slightly more formal air. In the following weeks, some family engagements were reportedly adjusted, with attendance limited to immediate relatives. The palace presented these changes as routine scheduling matters, and no official acknowledgement of any tension was made. Publicly, photographs and appearances continue to project unity and composure, hallmarks of the modern royal image. Yet according to royal commentators, the Highgrove dinner marked a quiet turning point. Without outward confrontation or public statement, the event seemed to establish new boundaries and reaffirm the careful balance of respect that underpins life inside the royal family. Within Britain's most traditional institution, even long-established hierarchies are sometimes tested by personal boundaries. While earlier reports suggested that tensions had eased following the Highgrove dinner, sources indicated that the matter was not entirely forgotten. The next family gathering at Balmoral, the royal estate in Scotland, reportedly brought a renewed sense of caution among those attending. For King Charles, Balmoral has long served as a sanctuary, a place to reflect and find peace away from public duties. It was also famously cherished by the late Queen Elizabeth II, and the family continues to honor that legacy each summer. Yet, according to accounts from royal commentators, the atmosphere during this particular visit was notably more restrained. Princess Catherine and Prince William were said to have approached the stay with clear intentions to maintain privacy and composure. Queen Camilla, who arrived shortly after the king, reportedly kept her engagements measured and formal. Since the previous season's gathering, communication between the two women had remained courteous but limited, often confined to brief professional exchanges at public events. Observers noted no overt signs of discord at Balmoral itself. Still, insiders described a quiet formality, a sense that each interaction was carefully managed. Whether viewed as a simple adjustment or the lasting impact of earlier disagreements, the Balmoral visit reflected the family's continued effort to balance tradition with the realities of personal relationships under public scrutiny. At first, the Balmoral visit appeared peaceful. Reports described long walks through the grounds, relaxed dinners, and an overall sense of calm among family members. King Charles and Prince William spent much of their time outdoors, while Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine took part in quieter gatherings inside the castle. For a few days, everything seemed to return to normal. However, according to several accounts, a moment later in the week reignited underlying tension. Princess Catherine was said to have been speaking with Lady Sarah Chatto and palace aides when she was informed of a private conversation taking place nearby involving Queen Camilla. While the exact details of that discussion remain unclear, reports suggested that Catherine chose to intervene, joining the room shortly after. Witnesses described the atmosphere as formal but strained. Camilla reportedly maintained her composure, addressing Catherine politely, while the Princess of Wales responded with equal calm, yet clear intent. Those present noted that the exchange was brief but carried a noticeable undercurrent of tension. Palace representatives have never commented on the incident, and sources close to both women have emphasized their shared dedication to royal duty. Still, the moment, as recounted by observers, underscored the sensitivity of family interactions within such a public institution, where even small misunderstandings can draw lasting attention from those watching closely. Accounts from royal insiders suggest that the quiet tension at Balmoral reached a decisive point during one private exchange between Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine. Reports indicate that the discussion remained calm but direct, reflecting Catherine's preference for addressing matters clearly and without public confrontation. According to sources familiar with the event, the Princess of Wales emphasized the importance of kindness and mutual respect in all interactions, speaking with a quiet authority that left little room for misunderstanding. Those who witnessed the moment described it as composed yet firm, not an argument, but a clear establishment of boundaries. Queen Camilla, by most accounts, chose not to respond in detail, maintaining her usual composure. In the days that followed, palace observers noted small but perceptible changes in behavior during family gatherings. Seating arrangements and interactions appeared slightly more formal, and conversations were described as polite but measured. While the palace has never commented publicly on these reports, royal analysts have suggested that this moment symbolized a subtle shift in internal dynamics. Rather than confrontation, it represented a rebalancing, a quiet assertion of respect within the family. For those watching from the outside, it offered another glimpse into how the modern royal household manages personal relationships under the weight of centuries-old tradition. In the weeks that followed the Balmoral stay, the royal calendar returned to its usual rhythm: charity visits, official openings, and public appearances that projected unity and stability. Yet behind the palace walls, insiders described an atmosphere of quiet recalibration. Princess Catherine and Queen Camilla were said to maintain cordial professionalism in public, exchanging polite smiles and brief words when duty required, but keeping a measured distance otherwise. Those close to royal operations noted that staff schedules were subtly adjusted to minimize overlap between their teams. Publicly, nothing appeared amiss. Both women continued to champion their respective charitable causes, each focusing on her area of influence. But according to royal commentators, their relationship had evolved into one defined less by warmth and more by mutual respect. King Charles, ever the peacemaker, reportedly encouraged harmony during family meetings, urging discretion and diplomacy above all. Prince William, meanwhile, was described as steadfast in his support of Catherine, ensuring that their household maintained both calm and clarity. No confrontation followed, and there was no mention of disagreement in official briefings. Still, within the private corridors of the palace, the balance of power felt subtly different, unspoken yet undeniable. By early autumn, observers began to notice a shift in tone during joint royal engagements. When Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine appeared together at a charity reception in London, their interaction was described as poised and professional, the kind of public civility that defines the monarchy. Smiles were exchanged, gestures coordinated, and the event concluded without a hint of strain. Insiders later suggested that this appearance signaled a new phase, one of careful coexistence rather than reconciliation. Each woman understood her role, her influence, and the fine line between personal feeling and public image. According to royal analysts, both had learned from the summer's private tensions. Catherine's calm resolve had drawn clear boundaries, while Camilla, known for her resilience, seemed intent on maintaining peace without retreat. Behind closed doors, communication reportedly became more formal, but also more predictable. Polite notes exchanged through aides, messages conveyed through protocol. For the royal household, that predictability was stability, and stability meant control. The public would never know the full story, but within the monarchy's quiet order, an unspoken understanding had finally been reached, one built not on affection, but on respect shaped by necessity. As winter approached, the rhythm of royal life grew busier once more. Receptions, state dinners, and the king's annual charity events filled the calendar. Observers noted that Princess Catherine and Queen Camilla continued to appear side by side at several of these functions, their demeanor polished and unflappable. Every glance, gesture, and word seemed measured, as though both women had silently agreed to operate within new parameters. Palace aides privately referred to it as the adjustment. Seating plans were checked twice, photo opportunities rehearsed with care, and public interactions kept brief but pleasant. Catherine's quiet authority was now unmistakable, not confrontational, but steady, grounded in confidence and purpose. Camilla, for her part, navigated these engagements with ease, balancing her own influence alongside the king's schedule. Those close to the royal circle suggested that the dynamic had matured. There was no hostility, just an acknowledgement of unspoken rules: respect the boundaries, maintain appearances, and protect the institution. It was, in essence, diplomacy disguised as family life. Within the palace, the air felt calmer. The lessons from Balmoral had been absorbed. Communication was to be deliberate, tone measured, and silence, when necessary, strategic. By the time spring returned, the royal family's public image appeared as seamless as ever. Catherine was often seen leading initiatives focused on early education and mental health, while Camilla championed literacy and domestic violence awareness. Their causes rarely overlapped, a detail some commentators considered intentional. At official events, the two women projected unity, exchanging polite words and shared smiles under the flash of cameras. Yet those who had worked closely with them said the warmth of earlier years had cooled into something more pragmatic, professionalism shaped by caution. Neither sought confrontation, but both understood the weight their actions carried within the hierarchy of the crown. King Charles, according to insiders, valued this fragile balance. He viewed it as proof that the family had found a way to preserve dignity amid personal differences. Prince William supported the same approach, prioritizing calm over conflict. Inside the palace, life went on. Schedules managed, engagements planned, photographs released. But beneath the order and routine lay a quiet truth. The strength of the monarchy no longer depended on closeness, but on control. Boundaries had been drawn, and within those lines, peace, however fragile, was maintained. As the year progressed, royal observers began to speak of balance, a delicate, carefully maintained peace within the senior ranks of the family. Princess Catherine and Queen Camilla continued to uphold their duties with unwavering precision, appearing together at select occasions where unity mattered most. Their exchanges, though brief, carried an unmistakable air of mutual understanding, a recognition that each had earned her place through perseverance and restraint. According to those familiar with palace life, the earlier unease had evolved into quiet coexistence. They no longer sought to bridge personal divides, but rather to preserve stability, a goal both shared in their own way. Catherine's composed presence brought calm authority to the younger generation of royals, while Camilla's long-standing partnership with the king ensured continuity and tradition. Publicly, little seemed amiss. The monarchy presented itself as steady and united, its senior figures aligned in purpose even when private sentiment differed. Behind the scenes, aides described an atmosphere of order, less warmth perhaps, but more control. It was a form of peace that only the royals could maintain, outward harmony built on discretion, precision, and unspoken agreement. The lessons from Balmoral and Highgrove lingered quietly, shaping a new equilibrium, one that would define the family's next chapter in the eyes of the world. By the close of summer, the royal family presented its familiar image of unity, standing together on the castle steps, smiling for photographers, and greeting well-wishers with grace. Yet behind the polished public moments, insiders quietly suggested that something fundamental had shifted. According to reports, King Charles, ever mindful of balance, understood both women well. He admired Queen Camilla's resilience and respected Princess Catherine's steady resolve. Those who observed closely noted that when Catherine took a firm position, it was never impulsive. Her choices were deliberate, measured, and final. The months that followed marked a subtle realignment within the royal dynamic. Publicly, harmony remained intact, but private boundaries had been redrawn. Camilla, some commentators suggested, recognized that Catherine's patience for formality without fairness had reached its limit. In royal life, where diplomacy often outweighs emotion, that realization carried quiet significance. While the world continued to see a united royal front, the truth behind palace walls was one of mutual respect, carefully maintained through distance. It wasn't conflict, it was evolution. What do you think this quiet transformation says about the balance of power within the modern royal family? Has the monarchy found new strength through restraint, or simply learned to survive through silence? If you'd like to follow more royal insights and behind-the-scenes analyses, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video for future updates.